Talk podcast. This is Danny M. And my co-host.
And Nikki. Hey, y'all. I'm back with your girl, Danny M.
Hey, she never left. We all just been busy.
I know. Life has been crazy.
Things are different now. Things are completely.
Yeah. We're all trying to rearrange life. And I know for me, and I know I'm not alone, that before this pandemic took into effect, you already had other things in play going on in life. So you still got to deal with life itself, and then still having to juggle this pandemic, making sure you're keeping your family safe from harm and everything. So
exactly,
it's definitely crazy trying to keep everybody immune system up, making sure everybody take vitamins, eat right. Stay out the public if they don't have to be, but you still
don't touch this, don't touch that. Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm overworked and I'm at home. Like I was telling my husband.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine.
It's a lot. It's a lot for us to consider. But oh my goodness, speaking of, we finally got out for the first time yesterday as a family. We all brought our masks, we all brought our gloves, but by the time we made it to our destination, all that came off. When I tell you, when we made it to Galveston, everybody, like it was so beautiful, number one. So like we couldn't resist it. But when we got there, we thought people were going to be exercising this social distancing, exercising, the face mask wearing and things like that. Honey, when the governor said they were reopening some of the states, that's what he meant. And people took action. I didn't see hardly anybody with face masks on yesterday. I didn't see anybody social distancing. I saw groups of far more than 10 under one tent. You know what I mean? Like people were out there getting it. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to still keep my face mask around my ears just in case, because you don't know. But for the most part, we were kind of out to ourselves. We kind of stayed in the area with not so many people, but it was hard to avoid people. So I'm glad we went, though. I'm still glad we went. I'm just curious to know how the cases may or may not spike, We drove by on the seawall. If most of you guys are from Houston or the Galveston area, you guys know what I'm talking about. We were on the further end down by the Ferris wheel, the little. Have you ever gone to that that festival area or whatever it's called?
I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, so we were further down on that side, and when I tell you, we were driving the seawall from that end towards Jamaica Beach end, and like all the restaurants were filled to capacity. Nobody had on face masks. I'm snitching. I'm just saying, like nobody.
Yeah.
I was really like, okay, well, I guess maybe it's over. I don't know. What do you think?
So me and some coworkers, we actually went and sat down at Chili's and had a drink.
Oh, they let you go in now?
Yeah, so I'll tell you we can talk about my experience from that. Now that one, I was really surprised, but still I was grateful. It wasn't a lot of people in there. Mm-hmm. They were actually handing out paper menus. They were only allowing 2 menus per table, I guess, to save money on them copying this. Since this, of course, is the extra expense, I'm pretty sure they have to take on. Yeah. So they allowed, it was 3 of us, but they allowed only 2 menus per table. So, you and whoever, somebody was going to have to share a menu. And all the waiters, waitresses, they all had on their masks. Mm-hmm. And they were separating tables. It wasn't like a table next to each other. They did separate, had us, they still had their tables in the same position, but they didn't allow guests to be at tables next to each other.
Right.
So I thought that experience was very good. I did like the way they were doing things. I really don't have any complaints about the way they were handling the situation on yesterday. You did see the bus boys coming out immediately, and we were even joking about it because, before, if you think about it, you go to a restaurant and you might see an empty table kind of dirty still. Mm-hmm. They take their time on cleaning it, but no, they were on top of it right away, making sure that they were cleaning up everything. So it was pretty interesting. As soon as I walked in, the host, he had on his face mask. As soon as I walked in, we were like, are you guys letting people come in and eat, dine in? Because at first we thought they were closed because we hardly seen any cars outside. But, when we walked in, of course, he was like, yeah, you can come in and eat, but you hardly seen a lot of people in there. And I was, like I said, I felt really good. I was glad about that. It wasn't like, I don't know if it wasn't a lot of people overwhelming them, or what, but I was glad to see it though, that it wasn't
Yeah.
like, bombarded with all these people.
But at the same time, it was refreshing, right? To get back out, to get some type,
Yeah.
of normalcy back to some level, right? Because
Yeah.
we all been so cooped up and trying to avoid each other, and we're not created for that. We're created to socialize, and be a part of each other's lives. But we living in some strange times. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for
I think
sure,
it's
for
very
sure.
strange.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, that's good. I'm glad you got a chance to sit down and have a drink. I've only been sitting down in my house
I know.
drinking.
Yeah, so it was, so that's now, I don't know about these beaches though being open because they're so widespread, and
They're
that's
so
so
wide
much.
open.
Yeah,
hmm
it's so, I think it's a lot on the police to have to try to, because pretty much
Interesting. You should say that. I'll tell you.
it's,
No, keep going. I'll tell you what.
yeah, no, I would like to think it could be a bit much for them to have to try to control that area because it's so widespread. I find that very interesting. I'm not surprised at like what you said you've seen at the beach, but I find it very interesting because it's something I said the whole time. Like, what are people supposed to do? Do you really expect people, just being real hot girls up there in
hmm
their bikinis with a mask on? Do
Right.
you really think they're gonna do it?
No, they
Like, so
didn't. They
yeah,
didn't.
I believe it, and that's the whole reason why I totally get why the governor of California, he immediately had to recall his decision to reopen the beaches. He even recalled the parks.
Bruh.
But
Yeah.
it sounds like though around Houston, people have been doing pretty good at not crowding the parks, from what I hear and
Yeah.
understand.
In our
They've been doing
community,
pretty
our
good with the
park is
parks.
still closed. Yeah, I mean, they have been truly enforcing the right thing. I was surprised, like I said, Galveston maybe they have lower cases. I'm gonna fact check that here in a minute, but I know when I was there yesterday, there were a lot of cops out on the ATVs and four wheelers, just trying to enforce the law, making sure people weren't drinking on the beach. And of course, they were, but they had to tell them, hey, you got to put these drinks away. But people are kind of like, hey, we're celebrating. Like we haven't been out, and like there were so many kids
You
out.
have to be, but you got to be careful, and that's what so many people just, they don't. I guess they're, and I understand it's certainly something to adapt to this new way of life that we are being confined to. And I
hmm
think it's a lot of people who, unfortunately, they're not adapting very well to it because you can go to the beach still, but you need to, you got to do things better. People got to
You
do
have
things
to.
better.
For instance, today I went running, right, with my face mask on. When we went to the beach, I'm sitting there with my family, but I have my face mask on. My kids took theirs off here and there, but for the most part, we tried to keep everything on because we don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know if
yeah,
we have it and it's just not affecting us, or we don't know if they have it and it's not affecting them, right? We don't know. So I just
yeah.
say better safe than sorry. I know I was the main person saying, stay home, stay smart. But I was like, hey, my family want to go to the beach. Let's go. Let's just make
Yeah.
sure we prepare ourselves just in case. So
I've
yeah.
been pretty much like, but I've still been keeping my kids and my mother-in-law. I've been keeping them in the house, fighting, advocating for them to stay in the house.
Yeah.
Because of course, sometimes obviously they want to get out the house. And sometimes my husband, he's definitely the more lenient one than I am, so he wants
hmm
to get in. But I'm like, man, I just feel better with y'all in the house. But I know eventually, like I did yesterday. Shout out to Pamela Fusilier. I got to post a post for y'all, for everybody, so that they can see. She's making some really great masks. But I did get a couple of masks for each of my boys from her yesterday. And her masks already have the filters in. They're already made with the filter material. They're very nice, good
Nice.
quality. Yeah, so I love them. And she's making sure that she disinfects them and everything before she just hands them off to you. And they're being
All right.
put in a nice Ziploc bag, sealed
Uh-huh.
tight, no air or anything, or in the Ziploc bag.
hmm
So I told her I was going to post something, but that's just a shout out too for her. You guys can always reach out to me. And I can just give you more information to link you to her if I don't get in contact with you, if I don't post it quickly enough for everybody.
Okay.
But yeah, I got them a couple of masks for when that day comes where I have to let them get out the house. I know it's the issue coming, I know it. But
I'm sure they're anxious too, because
oh
they're like,
yeah.
one is a teenager, right?
Well, no, he's a preteen. My oldest one, I'm keeping him a
Okay.
preteen as long as possible.
That's funny. Preteen, same thing, you know. I mean, they
Yeah,
want to get out and
yeah, I know.
socialize.
Yeah. He was just he around the house today. Talking about he bored. But it's I mean, he
Yeah,
down there right now. He hanging out with his grandma and my husband. You know, because he's. But hey, they get time with him. You know, that's what you got to look
right.
at. You know, we got to work this out.
I mean, it's no joke out here. I think they extended our stay home watch right until like May 20th or May 30th. I don't know which
Yeah,
date.
I mean, whether they say it or not, I think some people, some officials are saying it. I know me personally, I'm saying it. Like, I
Hmm.
agree. If you don't have to go anywhere, I feel like you definitely should. We all should be minimizing how we get out. I don't think this is still, I still don't think it's a time where we should be just, you know, just literally doing our usual routine, just finding places
Exactly.
to go, like just going somewhere just to be going.
Hmm.
I still do not think we should be just hanging out at each other's houses. Like, I'm not, you know, really planning on having any gatherings at my home anytime soon. My boys'
Right.
birthdays are both in June, but I don't, you know, no, we're not planning anything, and I'm not planning to go to anybody's event.
Hmm.
Fortunately, nobody has invited me anywhere lately, which is, I think that's good.
Right. Right.
I think everybody should stick to having small gatherings, basically.
Good point. I can't argue with that. I know that each time they want to uplift the order, something happens, and then we get right back into the same situation. I think they had a total in Houston of 65 deaths, which, in the grand scheme of things, is not that many. And rest in peace
Yeah,
to those who have lost their lives to this horrible disease or virus. But I feel like I think they just want to keep it low. So they're like, we're going to
yeah,
continue to do whatever we can do, to keep things low. So guys, all we can do is just say protect yourselves, protect your family, make sure you're obeying the law, and make sure you guys are protecting your valuables because the crime rate and robbery rates have gone up. Since all
mhm,
this stuff has been going on, it's just a lot of change. But speaking of change, Nikki and I we were talking before the show started about Will and Jada Smith and how maybe this quarantine has had some type of effect on what Jada has realized in her relationship. And both Nikki and I are married, so we understand what it's like to
yeah,
be, involved with, another person, your soulmate, having to live with them day in, day out, taking the good, the bad, the ugly. It's a lot. They have to take it from
mhm,
us too. So, you really got to love a person. You really got to know who you are. You really got to love yourself in order to be able to kind of go through these tides because it's really seriously a tide, a tidal wave. Not, your partner's not going to wake up the same in the same mood each and every day. You are not always going to agree with each other on certain things. They're not always going to do things that you're going to be proud of, and you're not going to always do things that they're proud of. So it's just like, it can be tough. It can be
oh
tough. What is your
yeah.
take on it?
I think Will and Jada, unfortunately, are just one of the couples, you know, of the nation that are probably experiencing these things right now. Because of that, you're in quarantine. You know, where most of us are always caught up in the hustle and bustle of life. But now it's no hustle and bustle, really. You know, you're still trying to move forward, do things you need to do to keep things moving. But at the end of the day, for the most part right now we're all together. Like my husband and I, we still been working throughout all of this. But yeah, are we together a little bit more than we have been over the course of the last few years?
Right.
For sure, because like I said before, we're not trying to go anywhere if we don't have to go there. So yeah, you know,
Yeah,
that's
it can
and
it
I
can get tight. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah. And
I
I
just
was
wanna.
like
Hmm.
Danielle and I were talking about before we got on air is how other couples, like I told her about a coworker slash friend of mine who said the same thing she was going through. You know, she realized some things about her husband being in quarantine with him.
Yeah.
She was just like, you know, I tell you what, I won't want to be in quarantine with him again. You know, so, and I know it's a lot of people experiencing this. And unfortunately, I really hope and pray with Will and Jada's situation that they can move past whatever the thing is that they're realizing about each other, and that they can keep in mind, like everything else in life, a lot of things in life, this is only a test.
That's it. Especially since they've been going 23 years strong. 23
Yeah.
years is a long time. That's a lifetime for some people. And, you know, the fact that Jada Smith, admitted at her Red Table Talk that she realized she didn't even know him. That's a big thing to say after 23 years. I just want to quote what she said. She said, I got to be honest. I think one of the things that I realized is that I don't know Will at all. That's not good, but doesn't mean that it can't improve and get better. At least, number one, she's realizing it.
But I also want to interject and say, you know I'm no relationship expert. And I know some people, even you, may get mad at me for what I'm about to say. But we have to be like, I think, hopefully, I pray that she has taken a step back and also determined and made sure, is she being dramatic?
Right. No, you know I'm not going to get offended. You know, I know how we can be.
Yeah, or we have to be honest. We don't like it when men call us out, and maybe it's not a man's place to call us out because they have no idea the different hormonal issues that we can experience in a lifespan. Especially, I know Jada. I don't know if she's at the age yet where she could possibly be going through menopause. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But I know as women, we can sometimes be. I know I can admit as a woman that there have been moments that I was ready to part ways with my husband, and I had to look back and see where I was being dramatic. I had to look back and realize that, get a level head about myself, and see, okay, is this really that big of a deal?
I like the fact that you said that.
Or can we talk this out? Can we come to some type of compromise? Is what my husband doing or expressing, can it make me a better person? You know, we have to look at all these different factors, and unfortunately, I like I say, I really pray that she's not being tempted by the enemy, basically. And
exactly. Yeah. No, I love what you said. There's no way for me to get angry about that. I mean, there's some that would, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But I like the fact that you think about it logically. You know, you're just putting it all out there. Look, if you're saying one thing about one person, but have you evaluated yourself? It's always about self-evaluation. Like I can't argue with that. I don't think Jada Smith can argue with that either. And maybe she has. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's what I was about to say. I'm just placing it out there. I don't know either. Because I also understand, like I said earlier, we're all involved in the hustle and bustle of life. That's where we were before this quarantine happened.
Exactly.
And I know for sure their hustle and bustle is definitely different than our marriages. I think actors.
I think that's the issue, though, right? It's like what we talked about before the show. Is like when you're used to being away from each other, and then when you're together, those sparks fly, right?
Yeah.
You're in a position where you're seeing them more than normal, and you start seeing the real them. Not to say you never knew, but you really didn't care that much, because you didn't have to deal with that part of them. I think that makes what's kind of happen. It could be what has happened, but who knows? Because they definitely
but
specifics on it. So.
Yeah, because who knows? Because their dynamic is definitely different than ours, you know?
For sure.
Because, I mean, we all have to think about that as well as we're talking, you know, that their dynamic definitely is different. Because I'm even as we're talking, I'm thinking about how when they first got married, they were much more popular. They were definitely getting more gigs than they are getting now.
Right.
You know, we've seen them in more movies and things like that than they're getting now. So they definitely probably had to find ways to spend time with each other.
Exactly.
And then, of course, as their career has progressed, I know they have worked on different projects together
which in a way,
as a family.
Doesn't it kind of like extend that honeymoon phase in a way, right? You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's how I don't know, that's how I'm thinking about it. Because if I were to get married, honeymoon phase lasts anywhere from like a year to 3 years. So usually people are seeing each other day in, day out. It starts getting a little stale. You got to find ways to like perk it up after 4 or 5 years. You know, they usually say if you can stay in a marriage to 5 years, y'all can make it for sure. But if things start getting real shaky and somebody's trying to split before that 1 to 5 year mark, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to work out. I don't know how true that is. I'm just saying. So maybe it's like, okay, they're getting older. Their kids are grown. Now she has the time to analyze, observe. So does he. You see what I'm saying? I think that's probably what may have happened. But either way, we're praying that Jada and Will make it through, and that they find a true resolution for whatever it is that they're going through. Only God knows. So praying for the best for you guys in your marriage. I'm definitely.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Them and others out there.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Because we know it's not easy, okay?
Not at
We know.
all. Not
Even before the quarantine, we know.
yeah.
It's, that's just
Because that's what
life.
I'm just saying. Yeah, life, you have different things that just happen out of your control. The quarantine happened out of our control. And then you have other things, other factors that come into play. So yeah, definitely praying the best for them.
For sure. Like, yeah, I just actually had overheard it, and I also read an article about them, and I was like, maybe we should talk about that, because I know you never know how many marriages are out here, really struggling. Like, I even watched a video about 2 or 3 days ago. This young lady, wish I knew her name, wish I could pull her up, but she found out her husband was gay during quarantine.
Oh my God.
So I mean, there's gonna be
That is so crazy. And I
yeah.
I hate when I hear stories like that. Like, that is just so crazy to me. And it's like, I just don't it's just beyond that there is really something else for me whenever
It hits a different way, doesn't it? I know.
Yes, that is like crazy, because like the dishonesty there. Like, it's like the whole marriage has been a lie.
Bruh.
Oh, let me give you a little bit of detail since I brought it up. This is crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, those scenarios are always so crazy for me. Those are always, I mean, those are always like probably the most craziest for me, because it's like I just said, like, our whole marriage has been a lie. Have you ever really loved me, or was I just being used
exactly
for you to figure your life out? Who wants to be that person?
And guess what? This man, okay, so whoever she was married to, she said he always had gay friends, hung around a lot of gay people. But this lady is an intelligent woman, and she's not the type of person that's going to criticize or distance herself because of the way someone wants to live their life. So she's very open-minded. So she never thought that it was an issue, right? She never thought that her husband was gay. I know. But, and then... Then she finds out that her husband was being very protective over his cell phone and sleeping with his phone, and if he just got up to answer the door or a phone call or anything, he had his cell phone in his pocket, like, or had it with him or on him. So she was like, this is not how he normally behaves, right? So then she started looking through his phone, and she found exactly what she was looking for. So you hear so many people say, be careful what you look for. She found it. This man had been sending naked photos of her to another man. So I don't know if the man that he was talking to, because the man knew that he was talking to another man, if that makes sense. I don't know if this man was bisexual, but the husband was not only like sending photos of himself, but he was also sending photos of his wife. That is the most malicious thing I've ever heard of in my life. If you're gonna walk that line on the other side of the fence, walk it alone. Like, don't offer up my photos that I gave to you, thinking that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre.
I'm telling you, but it's real. It is real.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to say is, in closing of that particular topic of Will and Jada, is, and I put this post on the Sisters Talk page today, is fall in love with someone who chooses you, who guides you, who understands you, even in the darkness. Fall in love with someone like that, because they got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's going to be some bad times. It's not going to always be sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
And people got to realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also that makes me think about, I remember a long time ago, I heard Rihanna, she quoted something that she said her grandmother once told her, that if you ever get married, when make sure that when you do marry, that you marry a man who loves you before you love him. And I think that's also something pretty important for ladies, especially that situation that was kind of fishy. That's definitely what made me also think about that with the husband and his gay friends. I mean, yeah.
Girl, I wish I could find her name so I could share it with everybody, but I'll make sure to add it in the post whenever we upload this video. It was so bizarre.
But I definitely can tell. I definitely know from experience. The quote I just said from Rihanna's grandmother and what you just said, all that together, I definitely feel like from experience, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to the same, that we've experienced that, and we know that I can find both of those statements to be true. I know I've been in some dark places myself, and I know my husband, he never, you know, he never shied. He knew the truth. He knew the ugly truth. And he's still right here with me. He still loves me. And I think that's important to have in a relationship, that if you don't have that, then I think it's definitely going to make it hard for you to continue to weather any storm, because storms are going to come.
They sure are, especially when y'all doing everything right. Oh my goodness gracious.
Exactly.
That's when it's gonna hit you like pow 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 pow. You're gonna be like, wait a minute, what did we do to like I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is life. Things happen, like I said, out of your control. From, I mean, my present situation, you know, with my mother-in-law falling ill and the challenges that's presenting from that, and us having to work together to help her. I mean, these are things that just happen out of your control, but you still have to find a way to be there for one another. Yes. But it's not easy.
That's beautiful, Nikki, and that's tough. But you know, the main thing is you're not giving up. You can't give up. And I know you won't. I don't even, you know, I don't second guess that at all. But that's something powerful what Nikki just said, guys. Y'all better listen. Because right now, I tell you this, like I keep saying, this is the weirdest time in history to me.
I'm telling you.
With all you're going, I know you're going through a whole lot. I mean, that people don't even, you know. And then it's like, there's a lot of changes that other people are going through, including myself. It is bizarre. It is a bizarre time.
You know, I'm like the old folks. These some strange times.
I'm telling you, I just can't even put my finger on it. I'm like, what's going on? But speaking of bizarre times, I want to talk about like the population. You know, we have all these theorists out here. We're covering all grounds today, y'all. But it's so funny because we have all these theorists out here, and I just want to show you and share this screen with you guys. So right now on the planet Earth, I don't know what planet y'all on, but that's where I'm at. So,
I know, right?
As of right now, we got 7.5 billion people, almost 7.6 to be exact, if you round that number up. So if I scroll this over to 2010, we were at 6.9. And if I go into the 2000s, everybody remember year 2000. 2000 was lit. You know, it was Y2K, and people thought it was the end of the world. And they started buying up all the water out of the Walmart and stuff like that. Just kind of like how this time they bought up all the tissue. So first it was 2000. 2020 was all the tissue. What's going to happen in another 20 years?
In 2020, it's so hard to find a lot of stuff. You having trouble finding your toiletry. You having trouble finding combs and brushes, girl. People having trouble finding combs and brushes because everybody got to do their own hair.
But guess what? All the soap is fully stocked. So y'all not taking baths. So what's going on?
Look. What else they said is and you know, and other stuff I've noticed it's hard to find too is your baking goods, because they said you have a lot of parents who are baking with their kids right now. That's a project that they're so I think that's pretty cute and cool. But I went to Target one day, girl. My mama sent me on a hunt to get her some flour. I took the last thing of flour off the shelf.
Oh my goodness. Golly.
Yes. I went to the store to buy me some flour for my house, and I had to buy the most expensive flour because, of course, the cheapest stuff was already gone.
Right. Like I'm noticing that all the no-name brand things are the first ones to go.
Yes.
Girl, I need y'all to get back to being bougie when everybody wanted to buy all the name brands and all that stuff. Now y'all thinking y'all counting y'all pennies now.
Yes.
That's funny.
This is the stuff I'm finding missing that I think other people are also finding missing off the shelf. It's pretty funny.
Girl, this is a mess. That's what it is. So, look, back in 1990, when everybody was wearing baggy clothes, even the girls, we had 5.2 million people on the planet. So we went from 1990 all the way to 2020. So 5.2 billion to 7.5 billion. Seemed like every decade we jumped up by a billion, as y'all can see. You see that?
And then it's probably more than that because now we're, doing the census. Have you done your census yet, speaking of?
Oh, I haven't, but I better because they keep on sending me all these letters.
Yes, girl, we got to do our census, and I encourage others out there listening, tuned in right now, do your census if you haven't done it for 2020 so that we can make sure that we're accounted for, especially our culture.
Right. Nikki, I have a question. Since we're talking about the U.S. Census and we're talking about the number of people, shout out to Terry, by the way, on Grade A Radio. She is definitely promoting the U.S. Census and getting that information put in because she works for the state. But I was gonna say that, what do you think happens if we double this number within the next year? I know we won't, but I'm just saying, what if we did? What does it
It's
even
possible.
mean?
Yeah, it's possible that we could double it in the next year because, I mean, like I just said, it's so many people, even in this number that we're gauging at right now, that have not been accounted for. Because what
That's a
about
good
Uncle
point.
Ronnie? What about Uncle Ronnie who's staying in somebody's house and he ain't filing for nothing? He's living off of family.
Exactly. No, you're right. You absolutely right. It's so many unaccounted for bodies. You're absolutely right. But speaking of bodies, not to be grim, y'all, but I'm going there. What about this COVID-19 and how they've been putting all these people on ventilators? What's up with that?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
do you think that, like, because they're putting them on ventilators, that's the reason why they're passing? Or do you think they're passing because they had like pre-existing health conditions, or both? I'm just wondering.
I think it just depends on the person, because I mean, some people are still, because that's what they say. The whole purpose of the ventilator is to help them breathe, to live a little longer. But I think it just depends on the person, their body, and I think it also even has a lot to do with just like anybody who's sick or they go to jail. I think it also has a lot to do with support, because that's the unfortunate thing about this virus is that if you're in quarantine at a hospital, can't no loved ones come by and see you and visit you and help cheer you on.
Right.
And I think that's important. Like, I seen this great story, guys. It made me think about this great story that me and my husband seen on the news the other day about this man. He was on his deathbed with the COVID virus. He was on his deathbed. They had actually moved him from a regular room to ICU, and he was about to die. But so the hospital allowed his wife to get in fully protected clothing and everything, just like they do at the hospital, so that she could come in and see him and say a final goodbye to him. Because at that point, they just knew he was going to die. He was on his deathbed. But after she comes in there to see him, they say, and like days later, he makes a complete turnaround and goes into basically full recovery mode, where now he is back at home with his family.
Listen to
that. Yeah, and so of course it really moved my husband and I both. But I think that's a testimony to how important it is to be surrounded by people we love.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and I think that's definitely. I think nobody's really even talking about that. I haven't really heard anybody talk about that at all, really, when I think about it, the fact of how important it is, if you're in the hospital with cancer. And like I said, if somebody's in jail, how that helps that person get through that and come home, and get through jail, get through their illness, get through cancer, or a surgery. That's how they get through these things, because they have loved ones coming to the hospital praying with them.
Yes.
And speaking encouragement over them, making them laugh, when they're in pain. It's nothing like that. And I think that's probably one of the major reasons why people are dying from this, that nobody's talking about, because you have to be mentally strong. Can you imagine the mental strength that somebody has to have, even the spiritual strength that they have to have to move through this virus and know that they will make it, that they're going to be okay? That has to be
do all that alone. To do all that alone.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. And also, I mean, that also reminds you too of why so many people are so grateful for the nurses and doctors who are caring for them in these hospitals, who are going above and beyond for them. Some of these nurses, like they showed on the news, they're going in those hospital rooms and trying to talk with these people, entertain them of some sort, because they know that they can't see their loved ones, or hold up a cell phone so that they can, maybe kind of video chat with their loved one. I've seen even videos such as that, to try to help somebody get through this. But we don't realize, I think that's one key factor that nobody's really talking about right there.
Yeah, and it's absolutely 100% true. Love is what gets us through it all. I don't care what nobody says, but that's the thing that we haven't been focusing on. And then you add in the social distancing part, which makes that part even more difficult to achieve. You see what I'm saying? Because who wants to talk to their family on like something like this, or FaceTime when you're passing on? You want to be holding them. You want them to be holding you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, think about all the parents and cousins and brothers and uncles and sisters and aunties that passed on within the last 3 months or 4 months of this year already. And their family weren't able to be there, because at the time we were doing 10 people or less. Now I think I saw a funeral yesterday in Galveston. There were more people than 10 people, right? So I was happy to see that. But I'm just saying, think about the people who lost their close parents and they couldn't attend the funeral.
Yeah.
This is going to leave a scar in them for the rest of their lives. And I just was saying to myself, woo, this is something totally different, guys. Like, we need to wake up and see that change is here already and that things are probably never going to really fully go back to normal, because, like, as fast as we want to reopen, we need to keep in mind that we, like Nikki said earlier, we have to be safe. I didn't give a good example of that yesterday, but I'm saying in general, like, we need to, you know what? I went to Galveston yesterday. I didn't go into grade A radio today because I'm trying to limit, like, okay, I did all that yesterday. Let me pump the brakes and let me just cool off. Meaning, let me not be spreading my body and germs everywhere else. Let me just be still. Because like I said, we could have it and not know it, and it not affect us the same way it may affect the next person. So I'm being considerate on all areas. We came home, we lathered up from head to toe. But still, I still just want to take that extra mile, give myself a week or so before I go back in. So things like that we can do to help each other. Try to be considerate of other people and their health. But
Well, I just want to interject and say something interesting too that I just thought about from what you said that I learned also from looking at a CNN special was that so the doctor who's been in the news with
Dr. Fossey.
Okay,
Dr. Fossey, yeah.
Okay, so I seen him do they did like a virtual town hall meeting on CNN, and he was a part of it, answering questions. And so one question that came up as far as how do they test, for example, if Billy gets COVID, and how they've been saying that they everybody that Billy has been around, so they can kind of narrow it down possibly where Billy got it from, and also see if anybody else that he's surrounded with was affected by this. And so an interesting question that came up was, let's say if Billy works at Kroger's, for example. So does that mean they need to do they need to test every customer he encountered at Kroger's? But what he said that was very interesting was that no, because if we're not with somebody, over a certain amount of time, if we're just with them maybe for a few minutes or so, then our chance of catching the virus from them is highly unlikely. Versus if you're with somebody on a more consistent basis or all the time, or for hours on a day or something, then you heighten your chances of receiving
contracting that virus.
Or vice versa. So I found that to be interesting, and I hope that also helps others and yourself, as you're going out like you did yesterday. Because I feel like you guys did right. Like you said, you kept your mask on as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, I understand, and I think the governor and everybody else in the world, our leaders, I'm trying to think on a positive note, that they understand that it can be very hard for everybody to stay in place.
Right.
We're all used to interacting with each other, but I do know and believe that we should be safe about it. And so I think that you guys' example was a great example of how you can move forward, and still have a regular life. But as of now, our regular life is wearing a mask.
Now,
and carrying around hand sanitizer and washing your hands and coming home, scrubbing yourself down, immediately taking off dirty clothes, putting them in the dirty clothes bin, disinfecting shoes, purses, bags, all that good stuff. Unfortunately, this is our norm right now.
Yeah.
So I think that you guys I think that was you guys' great example. So I think that if anything, that's just our norm right now. And, I guess if you don't feel like doing all that, then you definitely want to stay home.
Right. Ooh, Nikki, you weren't a part of the segment when I talked about who's drinking the Kool-Aid, basically.
Oh, but girl, I tuned in, girl.
And the disinfectants, oh my goodness. But Trump tried to block Dr. Fossey for speaking, you know. What's going on? Listen, you just keep giving me more fuel. I told you I'm not with you, but I'm not against you either. I just need to get it together. Get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That was highly entertaining. That was highly entertaining. And like always, he said, he came back and said he never said that, but you did say it, and we
I
have it on
rewinded it
video.
20 times to make sure.
Yeah, we have this on video of you saying this. So yeah, you said it. We all seen it. We seen the doctor and we seen the female doctor sitting to the side. We seen her facial expression.
Yes.
Respectful of you because you're the president. But yeah, we all were trying to understand: are we really expected to inject Clorox or what? Are UV rays? Are we needing to walk around with a UV ray?
The internet took it so fast.
Oh yes, that was hilarious. Like, I didn't know anything about it until I seen the video on social media. So out there, Trump, I'm sorry. But that's him with a lot of stuff. You know, he always says, I didn't say it, I didn't do it. But we have proof that you said this and you did this. Can't nobody just accuse you. No, you said this on live TV.
I'm telling you.
There was no time to edit this, because trust me, if they could edit it, I'm pretty sure they would have.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They try to catch it. It's too late. Yeah, this right here.
Dear Tide Pod Challenge kids, meet your fear.
Oh my goodness. Which brings me into the next piece of crazy news that I have. Read this title.
Japanese scientists create meat from poop. Oh my God.
Bruh. This actually was written back in 2011. So looks like it was published in 2011 and it was updated in 2015. Oh my goodness, y'all. Listen. This, okay. I don't know what's going on, okay? That was over, 9 years ago now. Who knows? We probably already had a poop burger. I don't know. But he says that Japanese, go ahead.
No, I tell you what, I think this would be a high motivation to become a vegetarian.
Yeah, I agree, because they said that the burger is high in let's see what he said. Found that the mud was loaded with protein due to high bacteria content. Combined it with reaction enhancer and put it in a magical machine called an exploder. An artificial state comes out at the end. So basically, like, whatever it is mixture that they're creating, they don't really give you the ingredients, but it definitely involves poop. So just be careful whenever you over there. You know, you thinking that, man, this is the best steak I ever had in my life, and then you realize they've been implementing this poop meat for years now. I don't know. I'm not saying that they've done it. I'm just saying that they know how to do it. So who's to say it hasn't been done? That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying. So what burger? A poop burger? That's what we doing?
No.
Y'all want meat that bad? I'll just eat my collard greens, my salads, my cabbage, my vegetables, my fruits. I mean, we have other options. Rice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't really? Are we getting that bad where we want to turn poop into meat? Huh?
I mean, you can take some good old black beans, season up some good old black beans, smash them up, make you a black bean burger. They're actually pretty good, by the way.
And high in protein. Good. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we.
That's what we do in America. Versus we want to drink the Clorox, put a UV light in our body, and now we making poop burgers. That's what we. Nobody else caught that article.
I hope that's not what it comes to, but I guess Trump is trying to avoid us coming to that by forcing these meat packing plants to be open.
Yes.
By forcing them to be open and contaminate each other and take a chance on them contaminating each other. And I'm not sure they say that. Now, that's the thing that me and my husband, though, and I guess that's like a question for you on what you think about this. But my husband and our thing is, I understand what Trump is saying. But and it's like, if anything, are we only just really putting those workers at high risk, or are we also putting ourselves at high risk because we haven't heard of the virus being contracted through food? Mm-hmm. Honestly, we're just being extra sterile when it comes to everything else, but we haven't heard about it being contracted through food. We just hear about it living on surfaces.
Right. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. But I have thought about, like, whoa, what if some contaminated worker shows up, starts slicing the meat, sneezes, and it gets through the mask. Because, you know, they're super, like, contained when they go to work anyway. But, you know, sometimes certain things happen. they slip the cracks. Like I know there's a certain percentage of rats that can get into the factory. No big deal. That they allow by law. You know, there's a certain number of hairs from animals to be in the food. I'm just telling you. I mean, there's so many things that are allowed because they know there's absolutely zero possibility of everything being completely clean, right? So I think maybe it's right to continuously be thorough with our foods, make sure we're washing them, make sure we're cooking them to completion. I know a lot of people like to eat steak, like rare, but maybe you may want to eat it more on the well side because we don't know. Like, and I know that heat kills the virus for sure.
Exactly.
So I think that as long as we're cleaning and cooking properly and not listening to the news channel who said you don't need to wash your meat. Did you see that where they said you don't have to wash
yeah, girl. I remember that, girl. And I think they still putting up some UV lights showing you where there was contamination in your sink. I just don't know about that. Like,
well, most of us wash our sinks and bleach them anyway.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah,
that's what I was just about to say.
And I think more specifically, Black people.
Girl, you know it.
Yeah, we're very funny about that. Like before I put anything in the sink, I lather down like it's a bubble bath inside of my sink before I even bleach it down and clean it up for the night. And then if I'm cooking something, I lather that thing up again and rinse. Lather it up again, rinse, because we know that we're washing dishes, we're putting things inside the sink sometimes, and it needs to be clean. We know that, but we're not going to just go straight from the packaged meat to the skillet, or from the packaged meat to the
I think
that doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy, but that was another point that me and my husband thought about was, okay, yeah, like you said, if it does come through your mask, you sneeze and it comes through my mask and gets on the food, or let me say cough, because to my understanding, I do want to also help clear that up. I did hear, to my understanding, I did see on the news, also in one of those town hall meetings, that someone who has COVID, we don't necessarily, they're not going to sneeze more than likely because it's a respiratory issue. So if anything, they may be coughing.
Right.
So we don't have to so much freak out if somebody sneezes, basically. It probably really is their allergy.
Yeah.
But yeah, needless to say, yeah, like for example, if somebody coughs and it comes through the mask, gets on our food, more than likely, that's what me and my husband were thinking. If I cook my food anyway, I rinse it off thoroughly like I'm supposed to, and then I put the chicken in the oven, then more than likely, if there was any germs like that, then I'm going to kill it off, right? In the oven.
That's how I think about it. I think you're right. I don't
know.
With
salmonella, because even with salmonella, how do people get it? Because either their food isn't cooked right or
it's not cooked at all.
Exactly.
Maybe it's sushi or something or whatever. Yeah.
Or like
I
if
agree.
you, for example, cut up an apple, in the same area where somebody cut up some meat before they cleaned that area. That's how you hear about people getting like salmonella poisoning, because once again, I understand what they're saying in a sense too, that I guess you can't, but I'm still gonna wash off my meat. But I guess I can see what they're saying even with that end, that if you don't wash off your meat, you just take it from the package to the pan, put it in the oven, you're not more than likely gonna get salmonella poisoning because the oven's gonna kill the germs. Like,
look, they don't even gotta tell us that. Y'all know. Don't tell us that, because we still gonna wash our meat. Stop it.
I know, yeah.
Why y'all telling us that anyway? What's wrong with y'all? Wash y'all meat. What is wrong? Listen, I'm not even gonna get upset about this. I'm sick of this foolishness, okay? From all levels. Look, Nikki, I just really need them to stop playing with us. Stop playing with us.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, come on.
Some of this stuff is over the top. Some of this stuff is probably over the top, like we said. I can honestly see in a sense where, like I said, where Trump is saying in a sense, making people work at these plants. But can you separate these plant workers? Is there some way somehow that you can run an assembly line without me working right on top?
So close. Yeah, maybe every other space that needs to be filled, not every single space. I agree.
Like, can you force these plants to open, but make them have to do some things differently? Because they did show video of a plant being open since he forced them to be open, and they did show these people working next to each other. So is there some type of way that an assembly line can be open without me working on top of you?
I love that you said that. You gave me an idea. First of all, shout out to Trump for making sure that the meat factories continue to go. That's vital. So kudos to you, President, for doing that,
Because we don't
because
want poop. We don't want poop burgers.
we don't want the poop burger. We don't want the turd burgers, is what the article called it. A turd burger. I don't want that. I'll pass. But not only that, but you help maintain the law and order of the country, because once the food supply goes low, or in their minds because they don't have meat, people are going to start going crazy. When you add a protein deficiency, people don't understand that mixing rice and beans together, you can get the same amount of protein, or like you said, have you a nice black bean burger. People don't realize that. So people are going to go like ape savage out here. Kudos to Trump for making sure that that food supply, the one that the Americans most value and love, continues to go. And that's meat, baby. Because I'm not eating a turd burger. That's facts. I'll go vegetarian first. But not everybody's like body, makeup, blood sugar, and all that can handle that drastic. I'm going to flip from meat to just vegetables, fruits, and whatever else to sustain me. They're going to lose a high pounds. And then they're going to be over there like foaming at the mouth, because everybody mentally can't. For real, everybody.
You're right. Valuable point. That's a great point.
It's both a mental and physical thing. Everybody's body is not set up the same. So shout out to you, Trump. You know what? You all right. In that regard.
Anyway.
In that regard. Sure. Okay, now you know what? I feel like I'm maturing because of this conversation. Thank you, Nikki.
That's what's up.
I've come a long way from 2 episodes ago. Okay. But in closing, we can wrap things up. I think we went way over the time, guys, that we were supposed to go, but we had so much we wanted to cover. But I wanted to know that you have anything else you wanted to talk about or discuss with the audience.
No, I think this was great. I think this episode was great. So I love it. So I think that's it. I definitely want to put my plug in and tell y'all Mother's Day is going to be next weekend. And I know you're going to need a delicious dessert for mom, or just a nice different gift for mom. Don't forget about Nikki's House of Cheesecakes. I am delivering. If you're within a 15-mile radius of me, I deliver for free. And if I have to deliver outside of that, it's just a small token that I ask for to help me pay for my gas. And
nothing's better than free.
Exactly. And then also, I invite you guys to check out my personal podcast. It's called Take a Moment 5. And it's basically almost like a blog, but it's also encouraging and motivational. So check that out on anywhere that you can find a podcast. So I'm on Apple, I'm on Anchor, I'm on Spotify. So, and I'm also Google. So check it out. I just posted the intro. Yeah, I posted an intro as well as a full-length episode, and I'm going to post another episode on tomorrow. So check that out, guys. And I'm going to be soon starting a private group page for you guys to vent a little bit in the page.
This looks so good.
Yeah, that pecan one is like my best seller. Like people, as soon as I came out with that one, I've been having people all over that one.
So what's this called? Like, what's the name of it?
So this one is called Pecan Dream.
Oh, yes. I think that's the one we had.
No, you guys ordered, had the Sleepy Peachy. You guys haven't had this one. Sleepy Peachy.
Oh, yeah, it had peaches. That's right. This looks really good.
It's really good. I've been having a lot of great reviews on it. My cheesecake, believe it or not, has even gotten better since the last time you guys had it, because I've made some tweaks. Yeah, I've made some tweaks. So I'm God is blessing me to get more and more excited about this business. As you can see, I've gotten a logo now, so I'm excited. So I know it's going places. So yeah,
yes, it's going down. Yes. So look, H-Town. Get her up, y'all.
Just imagine, before I made the tweaks that I've made, I know you guys can say it was a great cheesecake. So just imagine, even with the tweaks that I've made, I've gotten even more great reviews about it.
So look, y'all, check out Nikki's House of Cheesecake. You can find her on Facebook. I'm on her page right here. That's how you spell it. At 832-779-0671. Make sure you order it. Look, I tasted it. It's real good. My husband loves them.
I'm gonna have to get you guys. I'm gonna have to make you guys a personal pecan dream one, so you guys.
Yes, come on now. That's what I'm talking about. Listen,
I got time.
You know I love
got y'all. I got y'all. I'm gonna take care of y'all.
Thank you. So look, yes, you know what, I really enjoyed this. We had a lot of good topics to cover. So
yeah,
I don't know when we're gonna all get back to normal, guys, but all I gotta say is Nikki got you covered for the sweets, honey, because I had it.
Yeah.
You won't doubt. Listen, you'll go back for more and more and more. And it's really good too that you make the personal sizes, because for people who don't want to overindulge, they can kind of sugar intake and maintain their weight too. And then think about, there's birthdays coming up, guys. I know in this month, especially in the summertime for your kids, you know, if you don't want to go out and spend too much money, but you want something different, you know, shout out to Nikki. Go find her on Facebook. Go like her page. Go do that right now after you watch this show, and make sure that you go place an order. Support small businesses, because y'all can see that it's been very hard lately, especially with COVID-19 running all around, and you know, people can't open up business the way they want to. They can't go to people's houses the way they want to. It's just been a very a shock to the system. So let's make sure that we continue to support each other in any way we can. Just by simply sharing this show with somebody else, you never know how much of a blessing you can be to other people. So yes.
Exactly. So I also want to remind everybody, you see, I'm wearing my shirt, y'all. Self-love is dope. So make sure y'all go to the Sisters Talk page, reach out to one of us, or go to the website so that you can get you a t-shirt, get you a mask. Because you're going to need the mask for a while. So why don't you help us advertise by sending you a mask?
You're going to need it to the end of this month.
Let's help each other out.
That's right. I just sold out masks, but I'll have new orders coming in by next week. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I really am, because the fact that money's still coming in, you know what I mean? That's a blessing. So thank you, God. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you to all of our supporters at Sisters Talk. It's been an amazing ride, and it's just getting started. But I guess we should end our show. And this is how I want to end my piece. You can end yours the way you need to end it, but I'm going to say this. Listen, y'all, the only way I'm not washing my chicken before I bake it or fry it or saute it is if I'm on Naked and Afraid and I don't have any way to wash it before I bake it, saute it, or fry it. You understand?
Yeah.
Wash your meat, people. Okay? Don't listen to what other people tell you to do. You think for yourself. I told y'all this last time. I'm going to tell you again. Don't call the CDC asking them no dumb question like, should I wash my chicken? The answer is all right? Stop it. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all need to start thinking, all right? And that's all I'm going to say for today.
And I'm just going to encourage y'all to follow at Take a Moment 5 on Instagram so that y'all can catch my episodes and also get some daily encouragement every day. Take a Moment 5. Get you some daily encouragement to help you get through this and other things in life.
Awesome.
We love y'all and appreciate y'all. And remember, wash your meat and wear masks.
Thank you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. You guys have a blessed evening. Talk to you later, Nikki. Bye.
All right.
If you like the video you just watched, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications for the Sisters Talk podcast.
Oh, wait, before you click off. What's up, H-Town? This is Papa T coming to you live from Sisters Talk. Hey, check it out, yo. Oh my God. The weekend before the new date for everybody to say stay indoors. And look at this. Everybody down in Galveston. Everybody and their mamas, as Danny D would say. It's beautiful, beautiful day down here in Galveston, Texas, baby.
Rolling at my XXT, rolling at my XXT. Yeah, rolling at my XXT, rolling at my XXT.
Walk it like I talk it, walk it like I talk it, walk it like I talk it.